Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Todd Durkin Impact Show. This one will be like none other before. I'm just several days away right now before a knee surgery. I'm getting a partial knee replacement of my left knee. And in today's episode, I'm going to share and bear all that I'm going to do to help my healing and recovery. This is going to be a very, very important episode for anyone that wants to optimize their health or their recovery. You don't necessarily need to have a surgery to benefit from this episode, because I'm talking about anti-inflammatory, both modalities, nutrition, supplementation, some other different things that I use to get my mind right and my body right so I can optimize my own health. And as I sit here with my pup, Jersey Dog, normally you hear us or see us out in the mornings with our walks. Today, he's going to be helping me out as we go through these different aspects. And the first one I'm going to share with you is one that's going to be very, very important in the healing process. Matter of fact, I'm going to transition. If you're watching this on YouTube, fantastic. If you're listening on the podcast, awesome. You're going to have to visualize. Right now, I'm in my living room at the Durkin household. We're actually going to go inside to where I'll be spending a lot of time. Come on, Jersey Dog. We're spending a lot of time coming up here in the TV room, because this is where a lot of the healing is going to be taking place. And in just a few days, when I get this partial knee replacement, a lot of questions always come in about the recovery process. The first thing you're going to see or hear me talk about is the lazy boy. The lazy boy and I don't get along too well in typical times, but my wife Melanie has given me the opportunity this time to rent it for 2 months. I'm renting a lazy boy for 2 months. After 2 months, she's like, I don't want a lazy boy. So this lazy boy and I are going to be best friends like we were 2 years ago when I got my right knee done. And it's where I'll be spending a lot of time when I'm not doing my ankle pumps and quad sets and everything else. The first thing I'm going to start off with the recovery process I'm going to talk about today is an absolute game changer. This is one that a lot of people don't use either post-surgery or if there's an injury with a lot of inflammation. And it's called a game-ready machine. A game-ready machine. Shout out to my man Dominic Cruz for hooking a brother up on this. The game-ready is a great device. A lot of my pro athletes have them. I can't recommend them enough when it comes to anything when it comes to anti-inflammation. What is a game-ready machine? Well, first off, again, if you're watching the YouTube, you can see it. If you're not, I want you to visualize this. It's a big boot. It's a big boot from the feet all the way up above the knee. And there's ones for shoulders and your thighs and hips and extremities as well. But what it does is it pumps ice, cold ice, through a cord into the compression wrap. So what happens is it goes in different areas where it'll start from your feet and squeeze and then work its way up so that it's going to actually help with, you've got cold, cryo, you've got compression, and you've got, we'll have it elevated as well when I'm in the game ready. So you've got the compression along with the cold, the cryo, and the circulatory effects that will happen with this. You could also program the game ready machine do you want it to go 10 minutes, 15, 20? I don't recommend going much beyond 20 minutes at one time. But let me tell you what, I know from experience how awesome this machine is, because ice is imperative for the first few weeks after a surgery or after a major injury. You want to really reduce the inflammation. So ice, compression, elevation are important, along with movement. Unlike it used to be rest, ice, compression, elevation, now you got to be moving. So I'll be getting up literally 5 hours after surgery and starting to walk. And throughout my recovery process, especially in the first few weeks, I'll be moving quite a bit. I'll have a walker and then crutches and then a cane, and then I'll be back to sprinting in just a mere few weeks on that. But the game ready is really important. It's going to be, I'd say, the number one tool that I'll use to help expedite my healing process. Ice goes in, goes through. I'll have it between 40 to 50 degrees in there. It's very comfortable. And let me tell you what, I know I'll be crying for this thing just a day after surgery. That's the game ready machine as well. So that's number one. The other thing that I'll be using right after surgery in other areas than my knee, but we'll be starting to use around that, is my Theragun. You all know I'm a huge supporter of Theragun, both the mini as well as the regular Pro Theragun. But what's good about this is whenever you have an injury, there's compensatory areas of your body, like if it's my left knee, my right hip and lower back is all jacked up and tight. So I'm going to be doing a lot of work on my quads and my IT band, lower back, and hips in the first 2 weeks after surgery. I'll be using it on my left quad right after surgery as well to help the circulation, as well as the IT band and the shin splints, the perineals right here, all up into the IT band. But the perineals, along with the soleus and gastrocs, will be very, very important to work the surrounding the soft tissue. Why? Because there's been all of this has been compromised. When you have compromised cut-on tissue, you're going to have fascial restrictions. Fascia, which is a web-like substance that's enveloped around every tendon, ligament, muscle, organ, and bone of the body, you want to make sure you can lengthen fascia and it doesn't become hardened and constricted. So therefore, between the Game Ready, between the Theragun, and all the surrounding tissues around the knee, I'm really looking to maximize that. So I'll have my Pro as well as the Mini that will be doing work also on that. Those will be the most important aspects right after acute with the surgery coming up here in just a few days. The other thing too, while I'm in the actual Lazy Boy, and I'll be sharing the rest of the routine here later on, but is doing some actual movements. And not that I'm going to show it now because those of you listening to the podcast can't see it, but quad sets are really good for the VMO. Get the VMO, the vastus medialis obliquus, will be working to really help track the knee, as well as some other small movements, as well as flexibility of the entire body. The other side, the lower back, I'll be stretching right here, but keeping it up all the way down to where I'm reclining on this bad boy with some elevation. It's going to be a great way that I can actually help the healing process. Rest will be important along with some movement, but here's the thing. When you're getting your game ready, you're getting ice, you're getting compression, you're getting all your exercises, I think from the modality perspective, these are the things that are really important. But there's other areas that are important too. Nutrition and supplementation, and I want to talk about that. As a matter of fact, in just a moment, what I want to do is I'm going to bring my friend Adam Cobb in here. I've got a whole supplement routine along with a nutrition routine. I've got a nutritionist, Jimmy Branham, who is going to be helping with my meals, and I'll be getting 14 meals delivered. Why? Although Melanie's a great cook, I don't want her cooking 3 times a day for the next few weeks. I love breakfast and dinner. She usually makes dinner. I love breakfast, but the lunchtime, Jimmy is going to be coming, and I'll have 14 meals delivered, and then we can just throw them in the microwave and clean them up, and he's going to put those macros, make sure I'm optimizing my entire healing process as well. I'll talk more about that after the supplement routine, because everyone's always like, talk about the supplement routine, talk about your supplement routine. So good nutrition along with proper supplementation. I want to dive in deep, and I'm going to ask Adam some specific questions. I've already ordered all my stuff. I've got everything ready to go. If you like to take supplements or you want to expedite your healing and recovery and rehabilitation for whatever you're working on physically, you may want to take copious notes, and I promise you I will put all of these things into our show notes today. This may be the most specific podcast episode I've ever done, because I'm going to go deep into my supplement routine and share with you my routine. It might not be your routine that you choose when you have an injury or you have a surgery or you want to just optimize your health, but this is what I'm doing or will be doing here for the next several weeks and upcoming months to maximize my health, my vitality, my rejuvenation, my mindset, all of these things coming in. So without further ado, let's go to Adam Cobb right now, and 8 Days a Week. He's the founder and creator of 8daysaweek.com, and we're going to talk about our complete nutrition program and recovery program with Adam Cobb. Let's go there now. All right, guys, I promised you that I was going to talk about supplements, and I am going to talk about supplements because this is going to be a key aspect to the recovery after surgery. Now, again, I want to emphasize, you got to be eating right. Nutrition is really important, but I think the part that's going to allow us to put the ball into the end zone is the supplement routine that I'm going to use. Matter of fact, 2 years ago, 2018, when I got my right knee done, I leaned on my man, Adam Cobb. Adam is an awesome guy. I've known him for years. Matter of fact, I'm going to have him join in here in just a moment and share some of his wisdom, because I'm not only using using the same routine as I did in 2018 because it was so good. We're going to amp it up a little bit. We're going to have a little more fun with the recovery and all that stuff. So my man, Adam from 8 Days a Week. What's up, Adam?
Hey, Todd. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for including me on this. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Normally you're in New York City. I believe you're down in what, Asheville, North Carolina now, trying to change some lives?
Yeah, trying to change lives, one person at a time.
No, to get his mind right down there. So, hey, I want to jump in. I know a lot of our listeners today want to hear about the recovery routine. I think this is going to be I'm going to reveal everything that I'm doing. And I want to first off say thank you for just providing me with some of your nutritional knowledge to make sure that I'm amped up for the recovery of everything. So you ready to dive in?
Yeah, thanks for trusting me with that. I know this is a big surgery for you and everything that's happening. So, yeah, I'm pulling for you. We're going to do this. Absolutely.
Listen, I'm gonna start off right off the bat with my secret sauce. I'm not even gonna say it. Normally people say it to the end, like, okay, let me get through all this. Guys, I got a lot of stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, I got like a bed full of supplements, but let me tell you what, I'm gonna attack this thing and it's gonna be done the right way. But I'm starting off with my favorite one of all. Adam, we talked a couple weeks ago before I ordered everything up. I was like, we gotta get with that Metagenics Ultra Inflamex plus 360 on this. So this is my favorite one of all on the Metagenics Ultra Inflamex Plus 360 advanced support for the nutritional management of compromised gut function in IBD. What the heck is all in this? Because I look at it, I'm like, this is a little secret, my friends. I use it during surgery. I should use it all the time, honestly. But talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those products that, again, a lot of people do not know. It is secret sauce. It truly is. It's powder form. You have the mango flavor, which I think pairs well with other things. And the key to that is reducing inflammation. And we know that the game of inflammation is now very popular. But what's not popular is what Metagenics does and how they pair all these nutrients together and ingredients. And we know turmeric reduces inflammation. So it has turmeric in there and it has a ton of it, right? And that's the thing that if you actually have that shake and it gets on your clothes, you're going to be in trouble. So you got to be careful. But when it comes to that, they have something called selective kinase response modulators. Okay. And basically what that is like this.
Yeah, what was that?
Real fast. Selective kinase response modulators. Hey, what is SCRMs for short? And the idea is basically they took this isomer from hops and what they found like from beer, right? So what I'm not saying is you can't drink beer and reduce and recover from a knee surgery. Yeah, I see where you're going. But what they did was they took this component of that and they identified that what this did was it down-regulated inflammation. And it's something called NF-kappa B, which is something that reduces inflammation within the cells, right? And basically rather than when you get that inflammation, rather than it inflaming and being yelled at, what it does, it actually calms it down and it's like a coolant. So it's almost like putting ice, like you would on your knee. It's like putting ice on the internal, that internal system that we all have that produces inflammation, gut health, everything like that. So what this is going to do, it's going to reduce inflammation from the inside out. So you're going to be working on all the stuff on the external, and this is working on the internal. And I believe it's total game changer.
So I look at this and I look at all the different, the vitamins, the minerals, the aminos in there. What else is in that? Because I look at this as kind of like your multivitamin and mineral, but there's obviously, like you said, turmeric, ginger, rosemary. What else is in here that you'd say is really going to make a difference in the inflammation throughout the process of healing?
Yeah, I think all the other things the things you just named were really the most important components, but the most important thing is that selective kinase response modulator. That's the thing that is not in any other supplement. So that's the thing to really focus on in there. Everything else, like you said, it's like a multivitamin. And it combines the other things that we know people take individually when it comes to inflammation. They're putting it all together and they're adding in this technology and this research that other people aren't doing. And I believe that's what makes the massive difference. You're going to take that, you're going to have a shake in the morning and you're going to have a shake in the evening. So you're going to have 1 a.m. and p.m. And I recommend that you do it for the first 5 days. You just do 1 scoop because it's an adjustment, right? There's a lot in there, as you can read all the ingredients. There's a lot in there. So you want to be gentle with your gut. You want to be gentle with your system along with everything else you're going to be adding. So
Is anyone else right now, as Adam's talking, I don't know why my mind said, okay, he said 2, so I'm going to do 3. He said, once go, I'll do 2. Like, does else ever want to like do more than what the quote doctor says or what the nutrition like? He said 2, so I'm going to do 3. I'll do a lunchtime one. I love shake. He said 1 scoop. If I want to accelerate, I'm just going to throw a little extra scoopy in there. So, okay, I got you, Adam. I got two shakes, morning and evening. I've got 1, air quotes, 1 scoop when I do that. And the other thing is, I'm a knucklehead. You know, honestly, and I mean this, I really do mean this. I believe that product was huge in my part of the healing last time. I don't know why I don't do this when I'm like healthy and not healing. Like, I think that's a really good product. Let's stick with Metagenics. I've got a couple other ones on this. What's this? Inflavonoid intensive care. I don't like intensive care. What is this thing all about? Why is it going to
help? Yeah, basically that is a product that has, yeah, you can kind of get that in there. That's a product that has this highly bioavailable curcumin, boswellia, ginger. It has these, yeah, I know, right? Curcumin, fenugreek. And basically, you know, this is what they're going to do is help to support the body's response to oxidative stress and other stressors. It's one of those products that really supports the inflammation again, but also the body's immune response, which we want to make sure that yours is operating at the highest level.
100%. Next up, I remember this from last time, the SPM Active Specialized Pro-Resolving Mediators. Talk about it, because this is the one you told me last time. This was the secret sauce. I was number 1 with the Ultra Inflamex Plus 360, but this one you said was like, talk about.
I think that's a sneaky golden nugget, right? Again, specialized, right? Yeah, exactly. It's that pro resolving mediators, SPMs, and it basically are these molecules that our bodies produce naturally in response to damaged tissue due to physical challenges. So you're going to basically be having a lot of them, and it's going to be induced. So we need that. It's something that you're going to take 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. You're going to work with that. It's going to be a great addition and a great add to the Ultra Inflamex Plus 360.
With the SPM Active and the Inflavonoid Intensive Care, take that morning and evening?
You're going to take both morning and evening. And I recommend that, for people listening, right? It's like, oftentimes supplement protocols, you choose one or the other or both, but oftentimes 3 times a day gets hard. So sometimes I actually tell people, like, kick that, again, obviously doctor recommended, but kick that lunchtime thing and maybe shift it into the morning, because it's hard and people forget. So if we can create structure, if we can create a time, a place, a method to be able to create and be able to, have that discipline as you are a king of, then we can actually, follow through with all that. Yeah.
A lot here with immune support and gut health, and obviously immune support. I don't need to go into the importance of immune support with everything going on, but obviously when your soft tissue gets compromised because of surgery, we need to make sure that we reduce inflammation and boost immunity as well. We've got the ultra potent C1000 on that stuff. And you want to talk about the importance of vitamin C in the healing process as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, again, we know this even through like this whole pandemic, right? We know the number 1 thing was always recommended, high grade vitamin C, and that some vitamin C's, when they're poor value, the actually immune system drops. Metagenics has a high quality. We always know that, and that keeps the immune system up, fighting strong, moving forward, so that we don't have these dips where we're vulnerable to sickness or damage or inflammation. And we just want to keep that healing process, straight on the straightforward and no distractions, only direction, right?
You know what's funny right now? I can actually see people smiling right now as they're walking and working out, and they're like, I don't have any idea what the heck those first 3 were. Can you go over them again? It's kind of like when you're teaching in class. You talked about them. Guys, all of this is going to be in the show notes, along with Adam's information. If you had questions, we'll have all the show notes of what the heck this stuff is, because I don't want to say, hey, take a multivitamin and ice your knee and you're good to go. No. We're talking about a high performance recovery routine here. Next up, that was all Metagenics. Let's go out to 8 days a week. Let me tell you what, 8 days a week. Okay. I know the guy who started that, founded that. Guy's a good guy, Adam. You got to check it out, 8daysaweek.com. You've got me on 2 of your products. Let's go with the Pure Greens first, because I love this. The Pure Greens. Talk about, not just after surgery, but all the time. But right now, for me, I'm going to be amping this up, the Pure Greens from 8 days a week. Talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That product, what I love most about it is that oftentimes there's a lot of green products out there. What I found
Mm.
in creating this product here was this idea that not everybody loves the taste of greens. And you also want to be able to mix the greens with other things. So you can mix it with different shakes. The idea there is the flavor is an actual apple cinnamon, which
Yep.
is often everybody loves it, right? And on top of that, it's equivalent to 3 servings of green vegetables. And what I find, and most people's in their healthy lifestyles, is they miss that breakfast. Breakfast rarely has a green component in there. So I love people waking up and starting their morning. Like, get up, start your morning, however you do your morning routine. And I know you have a legendary one yourself. And it's like part of adding in that green component. And are you gonna have spinach with your eggs? Maybe, right? Are you gonna have greens in your shake? Maybe, but like have a little dose of pure greens, 1 scoop with water in the morning, and there are your greens for definitely the morning. I recommend 3 times a day, but that gives you a good portion. And I believe
Yeah.
that it's going to be something that's palatable, right? It's something
Yeah.
that people are going to not, they're not going to shy away from. They're going to be consistent. And I think if you can get people on a consistent track when it comes to greens, that's the thing that oftentimes, that's the thing they forget about in their
Yeah.
programming and their nutrition. Yeah.
Well, I give you credit because number one, it does taste good. With apple juice, I love it with apple juice. You put apple juice in there
Oh,
with
yeah.
it. It's fantastic. And by the way, like I'm curious, out of all you listening in, if you know it's really healthy for you, but it doesn't taste great, although this does, do you drink it or eat it? Like for me, especially right now with like healing, as we
Right.
go into this here in a couple of days, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, whatever it costs. Like if I know it's going to expedite healing and recovery, and it's going to put me on the track for the next few months and years to really be ahead of the curve, I'm going to do it. And somebody like, oh man, I don't like the taste of it. Well, suck it up, Buttercup. Like, let's go, eat it, drink it, whatever you got to do it. So kudos on. There's some greens that don't taste good. I'll
Yeah.
drink it anyway. This one happened to taste good. And the sister product of this is your 8 days a week immune support fatigue fighter.
Yeah.
I should have been taking this for the last 9 months.
I
Man,
know.
really
I
should
know.
call
That
me
was
up with
that was a product that was a staple right in the homes. I'm sorry.
man, talk about it. Why do I need to
Yeah.
take this as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the oranges, right? The immune support. Basically, it's a bunch of orange fruits and orange vegetables working
Mm.
together to support immune system. It's a great 3 p.m., 2 to 3 p.m. little boost. It definitely is it definitely produces energy, right? It has CoQ10 inside. It has a green coffee bean extract that basically is like 25 milligrams of caffeine, which is basically like a green tea, basically equivalent to that. But I think
Okay.
you address something that it feels really important to me to share, which is that it's not only like what you have, like supplement wise and nutrition wise, but you nailed it, Todd. And he said like it's like why you're doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you just said that. And I always talk to people. It's like, hey, what is important in supplements and nutrition, but also like why are you doing that? You
Yeah.
know, why are you doing it? How are you doing it? Like your morning routine, right? Your morning, are you doing AM, PM supplements, nutrition? And then also like, how are you doing it?
Mm-hmm.
With support, you're asking for that support. And, obviously you're so good at that. And you reached out to me immediately as this was happening. And I so
Yeah.
appreciate that. But
Yeah.
we're real staple in practicing what you preach, because it's one thing to take them, but you've given thought on like, why am I doing this? And how am I going to do it? Who am I going to rally to support me in this? And all those other components are really, I think, a huge piece to this nutrition part.
Well, I used this routine 2 years ago, and it worked like a charm. And then this is one of my new products, the immune support. So, guys, I'm trying to help you all out. If you happen to have an acute injury, need to expedite healing, or you've had a major surgery, like I'm about to, you got to find a way to get in the best stuff in your body, including the nutrition, which I'll talk about later on in the show. A couple of things, Adam, I want to go through here. People are like, man, that's a lot of stuff. Yes, it is. I'm going to be eating right. I'm going to be supplementing right. I'm going to make sure my body is going to be, let's rock and roll. I got cod liver oil. I take this, by the way, all the time. Cod liver oil, I love on this. Vitamin D, cod liver oil. There's Norwegian cod liver oil, omega-3 fatty acids. Y'all know about that. Anything to add? This is the Carlson's cod liver oil. Anything to add?
Is it lemon flavored, or is
It
it
is.
normal?
Believe it. This is lemon flavored.
Okay, because I think most people,
Great shot.
if they're
Hold on a
listening,
second.
one thing, don't do it. Do it.
Let's go. Let's go. Little shot of hey, I'll have a shot with y'all. Who wants a shot of little cod liver oil, baby? Let's go.
Man.
Okay.
Yes.
Tastes good, actually. Tastes pretty good. Anything to add on that? Importance, by the way, cod liver oil, omega-3s right now, vitamin D, vitamin A. It's good stuff.
Yes.
Yep.
Heart, I mean, we're talking heart health, right? At that point, we're talking heart health, tissue health, everything to that component.
Last two, for us that I've been really taking, y'all have seen this, have been following me. I've talked about it before, the MCT oil powder and the collagen protein. My friends from Bubs over there, great company as well. MCT oil powder. What have you found that MCT oil powder is good for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for personally for me and all my clients, I recommend that typically with their coffee in the morning, right? It's that kind of like whole bulletproof Dave Asprey type of thing, and adding it in. Sometimes I even add actual coconut oil itself because I like the flavor, the medium chain triglycerides, and what that does for the system. So that's a great one to add. Yeah, excellent.
And collagen protein. I just honestly started using collagen in the last year. I didn't use it in the first surgery. I was totally just using whey all the time after my workouts. Still will do that after my workouts. But the collagen, I'll put that in the coffee as well with the MCT oil powder, the collagen protein, and I'll use that as a shake as well. So collagen, what have you found from your nutritional expertise on why collagen protein is an important component to the recipe?
Yeah,
Adam?
sure. Yeah, and it sounds like your body, your gut is okay with whey, but most people, they're not okay with whey, right? So whey actually, as you're in this healing process or everyday healing, because every day we have to heal some way, it's the fact that like that whey creates that inflammation, and we're trying to minimize that. We're trying to take out dairy, collagen, oftentimes that I'm sure it's dairy free in that sense, but often collagen is supporting our bones are providing the protein. Also collagen, just on a real practical level, oftentimes mixes really well. It can even be mixed with a spoon sometimes, or mixed in with a coffee in the morning, things like that. And whey oftentimes is not the case. And it's a solid, that's a great quality one as well, the one that you have there. I love it. I find people have less responses to it, less gas, less bloating, things like that, which I think are all real practical things about why to choose that, along with the, also health benefits. Yeah,
definitely.
And I would say also with the immune support, Todd, you recommended you do with the greens, the pure greens, you'd like to add apple juice. Also with the immune support, what I've found, do you like coconut water?
Absolutely.
Oh, so for me, and really for everybody I recommend it to, I love 1 scoop of the immune support. It has a almost like a tang, orangey, really yummy flavor.
Hey, I haven't heard that word in years. Hey,
I know.
wow.
I busted it out with you. And it's like, it has that component to it, a little bit of the mango in there, peachy thing, and then mixed with coconut water and just mixing up maybe an ice cube or two. It is like literally like a go-to drink for me, a summer drink, almost an everyday 3 p.m. drink. So I think you're going to love that one. And I think you're going to enjoy it. You're going to look forward to that 3 p.m.
Hey, Adam, man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Guys, I know that's a lot to digest, pardon the pun, all at one time. But again, I'm going to drop this in the show notes, some of the stuff here that I'm taking. I want to share my routine because 2 years ago, as I said, I leaned on Adam and I called him up as soon as I made the decision to have surgery again and amped up my recovery so that when I get recovery here, this is going to be really dialed in over the next 4 to 6 weeks with what I'm taking. And honestly, Adam, I think this is probably a good routine that I should continue the majority of this afterwards, because we talk about healing, gut strength, immune system. Like, we should all be in this state of mind all the time. So just want to bring you on to introduce you to our folks and let you know, or let them know that you're one of the guys I lean on when it comes to nutrition, especially for whatever reason. God's way has always brought me to you when it's like, man, you got to go to a go-to guy when it comes to the healing after surgery. So I appreciate you, and I thank you for everything you're doing. If someone wants more information, Adam, on you, where can they get you?
Yeah, you can find me over at coachadamcobb.com, or even on Instagram at coachadamcobb.com. And I want to thank you for having me on here. Also, I want to thank you to you, Todd, because you're such an incredible example for not only strength and impact, but also vulnerability and
Mm.
sharing this journey, not only with me, but with others and publicly. And it allows, I believe, people to relate, also people to go, hey, I need to heal too. And thank you for just being open and vulnerable and always like sharing your truth, man. It really means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to others. And you really are an example, but you've been that way forever. And it's like compounded example. You are a man of integrity and character. And I really love you, man.
Thanks, man. Hey, listen, one of the things I always get, like after the surgery, people are like, well, what'd you do for the healing? What'd you do for the recovery? And what'd you take? It's always 1,000 questions on the supplement routine. So when I huddled up with the team, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to share everything I'm doing. And I'm not telling you, by the way, that you guys got to do this. This is what I'm doing. This is my routine. This is what works for me. I would suggest that you work with your doctors, physical therapists, nutritionists, physical therapists, all your trainers, whoever you work with, and consult with the people you trust. These are the people I trust, and I wanted to bring them to you. And Adam's one of those guys, because I really believe that the healing and recovery process, whether it be because of the acute injury, because of surgery, because of stress, oxidative stress, and everything else, this is part of, but a big part of the overall healing. So, Adam, thanks so much for being here today, brother. I love you too, man.
Thank you so much, man.
All right, guys, welcome back to the kitchen. I hope you enjoyed that with Adam Cobb. Certainly got my supplement routine dialed in, enjoying some supplements right now. Oh, it's good stuff, that cod liver oil, lemon flavored. I want to make sure I emphasize this. Supplements without good nutrition is not going to work. I don't care if you're healthy right now, you're recovering from an injury, just had surgery. You got to make sure your nutrition's dialed in. I've dialed up Jimmy Branham, who I've been working with for years now. He serves Fitness Quest 10 admirably. A lot of my athletes, a lot of my clients, including myself. And he owns Meal Prep Co. And he delivers meals, healthy meals, that are going to maximize your performance, whether it be healing or whether it be performance. In my case, both. So when I called Jimmy a few weeks ago, I wanted 14 meals delivered for the next few weeks that are really fortified with some extra goodies to help the overall healing process. A couple things to remind yourself when it comes to healing. I always emphasize the importance of good hydration. It's always overlooked. Most people are dehydrated, and if you happen to be drinking coffee or alcohol, that's not going to be a good thing. Alcohol will not help the healing process. There will be zero alcohol on my diet for the month of December or January. Normally I have a 2-beer a month limit. No alcohol allowed. So that's important. Hydration, half your body weight in fluid, ounces of water, making sure that urine is going to be clear in color. When it comes to your macros, what are macros, right? Your carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Really important, and Jimmy and I have talked in length about healing, the foods I like, the foods I don't like, and making sure all the foods are one that are going to be, quote, anti-inflammatory type foods. On a protein side, when it comes to proteins, lots of fish, a lot of chicken, and a little bit of meat as well, beef. But the high sources and lean sources of fish and chicken are going to be high in this, and it's going to be in a 1-to-1 ratio with the complex carbohydrates. A lot of sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. It's a great source of carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, not simple carbs. Simple carbs is sugar. Sugar will soften you, and it will actually promote swelling and inflammation. No, we don't want any of that. No sugars. Bye chocolate covered almonds. What? Yes, no chocolate covered almonds. What? We gotta really eliminate and reduce the amount of sugars in our diet to help with no inflammation as well. Shout out to my man Robert Yang. Robert Yang is another great nutritionist that I've worked with, continue to work with, and when I say I've consulted with all the experts that I know and respect and trust. Yang is one of those guys, and part of the PFF plan, proteins, fats, and fiber. When working with Jimmy Branham and even Adam Cobb, fats are very important, and fiber. Why fiber? Well, think about this. When you have surgery and you have all those drugs pumped into you and anesthesia, right? Your gut and your whole stomach is going to be compromised, as well as your digestive system. So the fiber is going to be very important. How do you get that? How do you get the fiber? Remember, the best way, fruits and vegetables. Lots of fruits and vegetables. So I'll be consuming more fruits and vegetables than ever before, along with some good old all-bran cereal. Remember all-bran? Put a banana in there. Ooh, it's going to be good for the digestive system. So remember, even if you don't have any surgery or injuries going on, always good to rely on the PFF, protein, fat, and fiber formula that I give you all today, and that comes from my man Yang. Drop back into a previous episode with Robert Yang and listen to that on nutrition, because he always drops the gems. When it comes to the fat part, I know in the supplement part I talked about how important cod liver, cod liver, well, that's good, oil is. But also, think about this, avocados. Love avocados. Anyone else love avocados as much as me? Avos are great. Nuts are fantastic. And fish, once again, not only a good source of protein, a great source of fat. So get your almonds, your walnuts. I always remember, any nut that looks like a brain is good for the brain. It's good for the mind. So you talk about get your mind right, eat more walnuts, eat more almonds, and that's fantastic. So there's your little nutrition tip. Again, you want to make sure that nutrition side, I'm going to be having 3 meals and 2 snacks a day. I'll be having my oatmeal, which is full of great complex carbs with the fruit. On top of that, the blueberries, raspberries, a handful of nuts, and some almond milk with that. And then obviously lunch will be from Jimmy's Meal Prep Co. Company, having the snacks, which will be fruits, and of course the shakes I talked about with Adam. And then dinner, whatever Miss Melanie shares with me is what I'm going to consume and eat. There's my nutritional program. I want to end today going back to the lazy boy chair, and with some final thoughts about going deep, and how sometimes when you have a little bit of a setback, or you have a surgery, or you have an injury, how sometimes it provides you an opportunity to slow down and actually use it as an opportunity to get better. All right, guys, I'm back in the lazy boy chair, and believe it or not, I've got the Jersey dog right here next to me. And although we're days away from surgery, it's funny, a dog's wisdom. Jersey knows something's going on. He's been walking by my side for days now. He won't leave me. He's literally sitting here. He senses something's going on. So he's going to be my healing buddy too. And it's amazing sometimes how animals have a very sixth sense about just the state of where things are at. So Jersey, I appreciate you being here on the show today. The reason why I'm back here in the Lazy Boy is because I'll be spending a lot of time here over the next several weeks after surgery. And I want to talk about some other healing aspects I think are going to be very important as I tap into the whispers. The last time 2 years ago, November 2018, I sat here is where I created my Get Your Mind Right book. And I listened to the whispers, what God was telling me, and I started writing that book. And man, it's changed thousands of lives already in just, 6-7 months that it's been out. But I'm also right next to me here, and if you're not watching and you're listening in, I've got some of my daily routine things that I'm going to devote at least 30 minutes a day, every day until the end of the year, really diving in to several things. Number one is a journal. I like to journal now, but 30 minutes of this, of really just opening up and getting into the journal aspect, starting with gratitude, starting with my medical team, Dr. Jenkowitz, all the doctors and nurses on that, as well as the physical therapist who I will be working with in the physical therapy side of things. Very important. Journaling helps us focus on gratitude. And I know this, for the month of December, I want to focus on gratitude of what I do have, not what I don't have. I've had almost 50 years with this left knee. And as I shared in Monday's episode, man, oh man, it certainly has brought me a lot of good times, good memories, a lot of epic workouts, a lot of epic huddles. So if you've been a part of that in the first 50 years, thank you as you're listening in. And I look forward to the second 50 years coming up here being just as fantastic. But the journaling aspect is going to be important. The other aspects are the spiritual aspects and the power of prayer. I've got my Bible here. This is a Jeremiah study Bible, and getting in that every day, part of my 30-minute routine that I'll be doing at least will be studying the Word and studying that, which comes along with the focused life. It's a little devotional. And in here you've got Psalms and you've got Proverbs. This is Pastor Jeremiah, one of my great friends and clients I work with. And it's just this is a 30-day focused life supplement, so to speak, to the Bible, so I can go deeper in the Psalms and Proverbs on that. And I've got his devotional, and I love devotionals. They're very short stories, so that's kind of my routine in the mornings. I'm very well equipped when it comes to that side. When it comes to the journaling side, one of the things happens to be is it also, with the end of the year, coincides with planning time in 2020 as it comes to a close, asking myself the important questions that must be asked by all of us. And while I will be sharing some of those questions on future episodes as 2020 draws to an end, I wanted to share it today because I know this, starting here just in a few days after surgery, is, reflecting upon not only what you're grateful for 2020. Yes, I said, what are you grateful for in 2020? What are the lessons you've learned? I'll be reflecting on that. But in my annual roadmap and strategic plan, which many of you will receive or at least get parts of, I share the questions with you is, what is God calling you to do? What's God calling you to do? What are the things in your life that you've got to give up to go up? Let me repeat that. What are you willing to give up to go up? If you want to get to another level, what are you going to do to reduce or eliminate certain things from your life, whether that be habits, whether that be people, as well as what is it that you have to add? Is there anything that you have to add right now? A certain habit, a specific habit. I don't wish surgery on anybody, but I do wish you this. I do wish you would take some of the time that I'll be taking in the next couple of weeks and taking that time to work on you, because the more you work on yourself and the more you go deep on strategic questions about your purpose, about what it is that you're supposed to do, and when you have that fork in the road moment, that you're well equipped and you're making your answers upon your faith in what you have, knowing that 2021 is soon going to be here. So ask yourself those tough questions. What is it I want? What is it I need to do? If I knew I wasn't going to fail, man, what would I do? If I knew I wasn't going to fail, what is it that I would do? So those are the questions I want you to ask. And then, in addition to the quiet time, the faith time, and the prayer time, because prayer, as I said, is very, very powerful, I also want to take this opportunity while sitting in the lazy boy chairs to do some reading. I want to read my friend Larry Naviglia, who I've talked about, 126 Days, 11 Minutes. I've been saving this book for post-surgery. My wife Melanie just read it, and shout out to Larry Naviglia, who I've known for, 23 years, and is an amazing man and helps me in the Todd Durkin mastermind group, and he truly is one of my closest confidants. He just wrote a book about the love of his life who passed away from cancer, and he actually was by her side for all 43 days that she was in hospice. It's a true love story, so I can't wait to read that. As well as my son Brady wrote a book called Quarantine over the quarantine. And over the holiday, I'm going to read this because I've read his story and it's awesome, but I haven't read the other 8 stories yet. So I'm going to read that. Shout out to all of them. If you haven't picked up Quarantine yet, definitely do that. Great book, and I'm really proud of Brady. It's been one of the highlights of the last 9 months is having Brady write a book. So I'm going to be reading that. And then I've got a lot of Pastor Jeremiah. Dr. J wrote a book called Forward. He's got a journal with it, and I'm going to be going through the journal because I've read the book. It's an awesome book, but there's an accompanying journal that he has that I'll be working on also. So I've got a lot of reading material while I'm healing up and using the Game Ready and using the Theragun and eating right and supplementing, having the opportunity to slow down. So I'm going to end today's episode right where I'm going to be for the next several weeks, right here in the Lazy Boy. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We talked about all of the modalities that I'll be using, and I will have other ones. I've got a Juve wall I'll be using. I'll have all of the game rays, the theraguns, everything I'll be doing to promote anti-inflammatory responses and make sure I get proper healing. Also talked a lot about nutrition and supplementation as well as mindset. My friends, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for all of your support. I read all your comments, your DMs, when I post something on Facebook or Instagram, or you share something about this podcast. It fires me up. And let me tell you what, I know over the next several weeks, I'm going to be watching and listening to more of you than ever before because I'm going to be stuck in this Lazy Boy. So do me a favor. Take a glimpse of this or something else and go give the world some positive light. It desperately needs it right now. And as I really re-amplify my own light and get ready to sprint into 2021, y'all better buckle up your bootstraps because I'm going to be ready to rock and roll. And together, between you, me, and our community of fire-breathing dragons and mind-right maniacs, I promise you this. Come the end of 2020, when we go into 2021, y'all better be ready to rock and roll because my healing is going to be on point. My recovery is going to be on point. My mind is going to be right. My body's going to feel better than it has in 20 plus years. And y'all better be ready to rock and roll. Without further ado, I love you guys and can't wait to see you on the other side. Peace and God bless.